Morning, Highness. You're looking well. How are things today? I know, I only call you that when we're alone. Don't worry. You know your secret is safe with me. Why on earth would I risk it now after dragging you this far? Exactly, so relax. I have your back, you know that. This looks good. You seem to have a real green thumb. Have you ever grown things before? Well, I'm jealous. You're a natural gardener. That's not something I'm good at. Fortunately, I have other talents. Seriously though, I'm glad to see you doing so much around here. I know you still plan to go back and fight for your kingdom, but it's good that you're taking some time first to wait and see how things shake out there. And that you're making yourself useful while you wait. It would not have been very smart of you to just go back and declare yourself the leader. Oh, definitely. Much better that your people have a smart person leading them, the kind who doesn't rush off to get killed. Of course, eventually. But let the jackals tear each other apart a bit first. And keep working on your plan. You'll probably only get one shot at it, so best to make it count when the time comes. As if anyone could forget you. I imagine you made quite the impact on your people before the coup. When you do go back, I'm sure they'll remember. Unless you wait a few decades or something, but then I know you better than that. Plus, there's that birthmark thing you told me about. They'll remember you very well. I mean that in a good way. Whatever else your family did, or the court did, or the generations of monarchy did, you're a mostly good person. I wouldn't even listen to your plans to go back if I didn't think you could drum up support or do some good. I'd tether you to this place myself if I thought going back would be useless for you. I still might if you rush things, but I think you're on the right track. I told you that before, just stick with the plan. Be patient, bide your time, and when the moment comes, you'll be ready. Need a hand with that? Sure, hand me the rake. You know something? You look happy. No, you do. I know this isn't what you want to be doing long term, but being here, growing a garden, taking care of this place, it seems to suit you. And before you make that face, I mean it as a compliment. Very much so. Working the land is not a step down in the world for you, Highness. It's probably the opposite, actually. So enjoy it. I'm glad you're making the most of this time. Along those lines, how are you holding up? Well, now that you've stopped somewhere safe and started to carve out a calmer life, I imagine there's some emotional baggage to process. I just want to be sure you're not repressing anything or ignoring anything you need to feel. Make the best of this time, not just with what you can do, but with what you need to work through on your own. Be the strongest you can be, physically and mentally, when the time comes. Okay? Good. And you know I'm a good listener if you need an ear. Mine's even pointy for extra good listening. I've been fine. Working just a bit on the main road, redistributing some wealth here and there. Nuh-uh, no judgment. You know what I am. You've known since the start. Really? Oh, and here I thought you were climbing your way back onto a very high horse. So high that you can tell me how askew my moral compass is. But if your concern is sincere, I'm truly flattered. To think a royal actually cares if I'm safe. I know, and yes, I'm being careful. No unnecessary risks. I'm just going after those with lots of money and very little common sense. Or security. I've got this. I definitely know what I'm doing. I was doing it long before you came into my life, remember? I'm on track with my plans. Speaking of which... Yeah, well, I didn't come out here just to visit. I came to tell you that it's just about time for me to be moving on. Well, I've been here for, what's it been? A month now as you got settled in? You know I don't stay in one place very long. I can't really risk it. The locals like me and value what I can do for them, but if I stay too long somewhere, I risk being caught. I risk a bounty being put on my head by the nobility that I'm robbing. Word would get around what area I'm working in. Rich travelers would start arming themselves to the teeth, so my efforts wouldn't be much use. And all it would take is one desperate peasant to catch me sleeping and turn me in, and I'd be at the wrong end of a rope by dawn. It's not smart to linger. That's just how it is. It's the nature of who I am. Someday I'll settle, you know that. I'll move into that big house and restore my community, and I won't have to look over my shoulder or sleep on the ground anymore. But until then, I have work to do. What do you mean? I like you very much, Highness, but not enough to change all my plans. I hope you understand that. I think we know each other well enough by now to respect one another's aspirations. Then what is it? I can't think of anything that would sway me at the moment. Actual news, not just gossip or hearsay? News that I haven't heard. That's pretty unlikely. My ear is far more to the ground than yours. Besides, you're out here working the garden as though nothing in particular is going on. If something actually is going on that you needed to tell me, were you gonna come find me later, or were you just expecting me to turn up at some point? Well, either way, here I am, and I'll take the bait. What news do you have that you think would keep me here longer? Oh? I don't know the name. Who's that? I see. So your nurse worked alongside him back when she was still your nurse. Yeah, that does build friendships. Nice of him to stay in touch. Does he write often? Ah, I'm starting to see what you're getting at. He's an inside man. He's still in the palace that used to be yours, so he can send information. Wait, does he know you're here? That's good. He definitely does not need to know that. Whatever his intentions, no one outside the three of us here should know your whereabouts. Good, I'm glad. Okay, so what did the letter say? Really? How can he be sure? Sounds like he's either embellishing a few things, or he's got a finger in every pie in the kingdom. And I don't know him, so I don't know which it is. Okay, but... So, wait. I knew there was some infighting in the leadership. That's been a thing since day one, but what's different now? Oh, I see. I see. That is indeed interesting. I know you've thought about this. You're a lot smarter than you look. The peasants may have opinions, but those opinions don't matter much. At the end of the day, they mostly just care that they have food on the table and a roof over their heads. Whoever's in power doesn't matter too much as long as they have what they need. That's one of the reasons I wasn't so sure you'd get support from the masses for your overthrow plan. Peasants have a lot to lose and very little to gain. Of course numbers matter. There's strength in numbers, but numbers aren't as important as influence. And the wealthy have the influence. If the nobility has begun to turn... But is he sure? Like, is he in a position to be really sure? How can he be so positive that that's what he's seeing? So what's... Well, yeah, we knew there was a rumor circulating that you got out. You've been chased by that since you left. We had to get that tracking spell off you and all that, plus the bounty on your head. I know a lot of people think you're dead, but enough think you're alive and a threat that they took those steps to eliminate you. And if what you're saying is true... Exactly. There's more than just a bounty on you. If those noble factions are truly loyal to you, if they believe you survived and they believe in it enough to pay that much for your safe return... I don't know. I still feel like there's a good chance this is a double cross. I get why they'd be upset with the current leadership, but why throw their loyalties behind a single escaped royal who may or may not still be breathing? Why not just try to take power themselves? Yeah, you mentioned the tradition and the royal line and all that. But I find it really hard to believe there's not even one ambitious noble who is willing to make the attempt, you know? If that's true, you're a symbol. You're the face of what was lost and what they want back. They probably think they can rally the fence-sitters behind you if you decide to return and reclaim the throne. You have the power of your name and your lineage. You have that birthmark you're so proud of. Your family wasn't perfect in their centuries of rule, but the nobles probably had it pretty good, even if the peasants didn't. I can imagine they'd want that situation back, or as close to it as possible. So hang on, let me see if I get it. This guy says a not insignificant faction of nobles is offering money to have you brought back so you can lead them and retake control of the kingdom. They want you because you're you, an authentic royal, the last one they've got. So you're, what, planning to go back and be their figurehead? Highness, I feel like I should remind you just how little those royals did when the coup happened. These are opportunistic weasels at best. Vultures at worst. They'll side with whoever gives them the most power and money. Right now, they seem to think that's you. But back when all this started, they didn't protect your family. They stood by. They were complicit. Hell, some of them probably actively supported the coup. They had lots of reasons to think it was in their best interest. The fact that it didn't pan out, well, fortunately for them, they can be flexible. I get that, I really do. If you have the nobles, you have a chance at getting your power back. I just don't trust them as far as I can throw them, and I don't think you should either. You say that, but I know that look. You won't be swayed. I can tell you're going back. I almost wonder why you haven't left already. I guess that makes sense. Get all this finished first, so you're not leaving her in the lurch, so to speak. Very kind of you. I'm sure you're itching to get on the road. Oh, I could argue all day that you should reconsider, in no small part because you seem happy here. But I know how it feels to be on a mission. I won't try to convince you otherwise. No, I won't. I'll just wish you a safe journey. When do you leave? Is your nurse going to let the man who's riding her know that you're alive and coming home? Maybe he can get the nobles all fired up about you. What do you mean? Oh no, not a chance. There is no way I'm going with you. I have plans, remember? I got you out alive, I brought you here, and I'm going back to my own mission. We're parting ways right here. Best of luck to you in that whole throne retaking scheme of yours. I hope very much you don't die. What? I don't owe you anything. Frankly, it should be the other way around. I said I'd come to your court if you were ever back in power. I didn't make any promises about helping you get that power back. That's not my problem. Frankly, I'm trying not to be annoyed that you're so eager to go back into harm's way after everything I did to get you out. Highness, don't do this to me. You know I have a soft spot for those in need. No, you're not. You're not really in need. You're doing this to yourself. The best I can do is wish you luck. Stop. Gah, tell you what. I'll get you back across the border and hand you off to your supporters. If they don't kill you immediately, then I will wave you on your way and go about my own life. In exchange, you'll pay me for my help. Get that much closer to my own goals. I don't know what amount sounds fair to you. Don't forget, you'll have to borrow it from one of those noble friends of yours until you have access to the royal coffers again. I want my money upon delivery. No IOUs allowed. That sounds very reasonable. All right then. Just a simple business transaction. Money in exchange for safe passage. Here, shake my hand on this. Good. Let's get on with it then, Your Highness. Of course not. I'm in no hurry to watch you walk away. But until this is over, you won't have any other purpose. That much is clear. So pack what you're bringing and meet me at the crossroads tomorrow at dawn. We'd best get an early start. I wish I shared your excitement. It might be a good day to die, or it might just be a good day. I guess we'll find out. I'll see you tomorrow.